Well, hey, we're at the ramp. We got Keith Hendricks, Rusty Rothweiler. They're the main guys that kind of go around and mark all the spots for these cubes and spider blocks and all that. And they got some jugs and kind of what you look for.
Well, we've been doing this for a few years now, working with the Corps, and first off, really thankful that they're interested enough, to get this project funded. I know they write some grants and apply for some grants, and that's how this thing's happening. So hopefully, the fishermen out here realize that this is something they really don't have to do. It's something they're interested in doing, and so that's a benefit to everybody. They had reached out to Rusty and I to, we spent a lot of time on the lake, have known the lake since big enough to get on it. And so, yeah, I learned a few things, or at least think you do. And they asked me if I'd get interested in locating spots, best opportunities for angling and things like that for the fish and for the placement of the cubes. So we got involved with it that way. Been doing it, what? It's 4 years now. Have we been to four yet? 4, whatever, however long it's been. But continuing to do it. So we're out here. It's what is today? It's
26th.
It's
September 26th.
yeah, September 26th. I lose track of time.
Late April, late September.
So we do one in the spring, one in the fall. So this is our fall one. So we're going to go. The project today will be over in Lick Creek. So we'll use the ramp there behind Blackjack. There at Ray Barron's to stage off of. They've already built all the cubes. They've built all the spider blocks. They're going to be placing those today on the ramp. We're going to go out today and we're going to work with Aaron at the Corps, and we're going to get the spider block locations marked out, and probably going to drop the majority of those today to save a little time for tomorrow. So that's what we're up to today. The jugs that you're seeing behind us here, this is the way we come up with trying to keep track, try to keep everything. If you got volunteers coming out, which thankful for all the volunteers. We have several volunteers build this stuff, and they help place it. They also help move it from the Frank Russell area where they build it over to the ramp that we're working from. So what we're trying to do is be ahead of that so we can save some time. We'll go out the day of or day of before, and we'll place kind of strategically where we think most of the structures need to be placed. It might be next to a drop-off, off the end of a point, out on a flat area. So we kind of mix it up a little bit. So to keep track of where we're at, and it's kind of like like a herd of turtles sometimes when things are going on. It takes a while to get out there. We will have these places already marked, and then we just have to keep track of where we've dropped and where we haven't. And that way it speeds things up as much as what we can and kind of get through our day. So Rusty and I'll go out and we'll use our electronics, and we do have knowledge where we're going to start with, yes, but we will get out there depending on lake level and what we have going on. We'll find the locations for where the structures are going to go, and so we'll have them marked off. So that's what we're going to do today.
You'll notice we've got orange jugs today. If this is normal, we'd have a set of red jugs, and clear jugs. We use the red jugs for, let's say, spiders. So that way, let's say I go out and Keith's on one side, I'm on the other. I know when I go here, that's where we want to put spiders. If it's a clear jug, we want to put cubes. So and the guys have learned that over the years, haven't they, Keith? Learn the color. So if we kind of get in between, the guys that know that they've got spiders, they'll come directly to where these are, and the guys that's got cubes, we'll go to where the clear jugs are. We're always asked, and Keith asked probably more than I am, how did we figure out where to put these and blah, blah, blah. So I think you just explained that. It's not random. That's why we mark it, with the jugs so we know what we got. We have been through every kind of jug placement there is, from
a lot of experiments.
Everything but bricks and rope and like that. In fact, you and Keith Williams helped one year, and it worked, but it was. So last year we got our heads together, and you can go to Walmart and buy these clips. You get 12 of them for $1.89. And what this is, like on these here, these are 10 foot, and we do everything based off 606. You know,
On
how
the
we
level, on the level of the
on the
lake.
lake level, which is, so in theory, if I hook this around the length of chain, like here, drop it over the side, put it on one of them red jugs, we know it's going to be spiders in 10 foot of water. You know, we adjust up and down. Like last year, we had to adjust up and down. The other ones we got here, these are set at 15 to 16 foot because we feel like we want the cubes, you know, at 15 to 16 foot. You know, and then again, adjust up and down. So over the years, we've set, I don't know how many pair of scissors we wore out and how many things of cord we've worn, knots that wouldn't hold over the night, pieces of structure. You know, we left enough structure out there and chains alone, you know, and stuff. So,
So
you know, we put a little thought into it. One, it's a lot easier for us. I know when I grab this yellow cord, you know, it's going to be somewhere around 10 foot. You know, and Keith is very good with his live scope. That other electronics, finding a good place for these. And I think anybody, I don't know how many times I've drove by this year, and there's a boat sitting somewhere we put structure over the last 4 years. You know, so there's no secrets. We all know that. You know,
well, then all the coordinates are shared. You know, they're on the Corps
this-
website. They're fairly easy to find actually, and these will be on later. It takes a little bit to get that going, but we'll get all the coordinates once we get done after tomorrow, and they'll post them up on the Corps of Engineers site for everybody to see. So everybody get, you know, it's no secrets. We list everything we do. So
now there
anyway,
may come a time this winter when you see us out here. We're not going to tell you about that. If it's core affiliated, we're going to be. You're going to know.
Yeah. But anyway, that's sort of the gist of what's been going on with it and how we're doing it. We just actually appreciate the opportunity
Amen.
to do it too. You know, I know it's good for the fishery, it's good for the anglers, you know, and we've lost a lot of structure out of the lake, and it's just part of the aging. You know, the lake's older than what you realize. You know, what it filled in 83.
84, fall 84.
83,
I mean,
84.
you know, the lake's 41 years old today from the time
So
they
there's
shut
been
the dam.
been a lot of structure. Shoreline structure is all pretty much, you know, gone. But
The rivers are silted in.
there's a lot of underwater structure, you know, that was there. When I say structure, actually cover. You know, some brush. There used to be a lot of finger brush, things like that's been gone for a long time. So we're recreating some angling opportunity. There's a element of, you know, it's going to draw minnows. Algae's going to grow on all this stuff. They're going to have some minnows. You know, they're going to be interested in it. You're going to have some feeding fish that are going to be around there, whether they're crappie. They tell me the catfish really like the cubes. That's what I understand. So
We had 3 years ago, I think we did Spalding 2 years ago. We had one of our friends call us the next morning where we put in cubes that afternoon, and there was fish on with his live scope. He took a screenshot. You know, in less than 24 hours,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
already a population of fish on these, so
Yeah.
they do work.
yeah, they do. So anyway, that's kind of the gist of it. So we're going to get out there and see if we can get this project underway for the fall of 2025.